I notice it with my stepchildren. They start having parties at 16 and age, and then there's a pressure to supply alcohol or not supply alcohol. Prue and I have decided that we don't agree with it. I think that it should be hard for them to get it. The harder for them to get it, the better.
I suppose the best way for me to describe today's drinking culture is from my own experience working in the emergency department, and it's disturbing. It's frightening having to look after 14-year-olds that have blood alcohol levels of 0.4. And the scientific research would tell you that if you have a blood alcohol reading of 0.4, you've got a 50% chance of dying. And whether that's happening more now than it was 50 years ago or just the same, it's a problem. It's the exposure to things like violence, assault, just injury. We see it all too often. You know, young girls, I suppose, exposing themselves to the risk of sexual assault, the acute damage they can do to themselves, whether it's, you know, falling and hitting their head and the brain damage that can occur with that, or, you know, whether it's just falling and breaking your leg trying to jump over a fence.
Why do teenagers drink alcohol? Teenagers start drinking for a number of reasons, such as their friends do it, they want to be accepted, they want to get drunk, celebrate a special event, they're bored, or they're just curious. Developmental transitions such as puberty and increasing independence have been associated with underage drinking. As children move from their teenage years to young adulthood, they come across dramatic lifestyle changes and physical changes. The risks involved with underage drinking. Alcohol consumption can cause major health problems to your body. The short-term effects of alcohol include headaches, unconsciousness, vomiting, disordered vision and hearing, comas, blackouts, breathing difficulties, and etc. The long-term effects of alcohol include depression, cancer, cardiovascular disease, liver failure, high blood pressure, pancreatitis, strokes, seizures, and brain damage. Preventing these bad drinking habits. Enacting zero-tolerance laws, school-based prevention programs, family-based prevention programs, and rising the price of alcohol. How to be a responsible drinker. The standard drink helps people work out how much they are drinking and can make it a lot easier to control the amount of alcohol you are drinking. It's important to remember that the size of drinks served at some places, particularly at parties, because it can have more alcohol than the defined standard drink. One standard drink contains 10 grams of pure alcohol, which can be a small, strong shot or a large, weaker drink. But it is also important to remember when you're at a party that mixed drinks can have up to 6 standard drinks, so even though they may look like one drink, they actually contain a whole lot more. If it doesn't sound like a good idea, it probably isn't one. If you don't feel comfortable with the environment you're in or are worried for your safety and the people around you, you should probably rethink your plans. Beer. It is fermented by brewing and fermenting grains, then flavouring the mixture with hops, a flour that gives beer its bitterness. The alcohol content of beer usually ranges from 4% to 6% alcohol by volume. Wine. It's made by using fermented fruits. Wine is completely fermented and has a long aging process, which leads it to having an alcohol content of around 9% to 16%. Spirits, a product of both fermentation and distillation. Spirits are stronger alcohols and can have an alcohol content of above 20%.
This is how much the average 14 to 19-year-old girl thinks is safe to drink in a single session. What about guys the same age? Well, they think that it's safe to drink this much in a single session. So, that's the perception. What's the reality? Well, while they don't drink this much every day, nearly half of that same group admit to drinking at least this much in a single sitting. Compare that to this, which is what's actually okay per day, and this, which is what's okay on occasion.
Taking care of drunk people. Firstly, discourage the person from drinking alcohol. Secondly, sit the intoxicated person down. Thirdly, make sure they stay warm because of high BAC can lower body temperature even if the person still feels warm. Fourthly, encourage them to drink water and eat food. Fifthly, if they pass out or want to lie down, make sure they lie on their side and place yourself or an object behind them to prevent them from rolling over and choking on his or her vomit. Sixthly, monitor your friend's breathing if they pass out. Do not assume an unconscious person is sleeping. The individual may be suffering from alcohol poisoning. Alcohol poisoning. The factors that can increase alcohol poisoning include weight, health, whether you've eaten that day, if you are combining alcohol with other drugs, the percentage of alcohol in your drinks, the rate and amount of alcohol consumption, and your tolerance level to alcohol. Signs and symptoms include vomiting, seizures, confusion, slow breathing, blue skin or pale skin, irregular breathing, low body temperature and passing out and can't be awakened. Call 000 if any of these symptoms occur. Don't be afraid to seek help, and never leave someone who has passed out alone.
In a world full of opportunities, why should we encourage people to make safe choices? Teenagers can be reckless and careless of the actions they make while they are still a teenager. The choices they make early in life can significantly affect their future. Making safe choices in life can be the difference between you staying alive or dying because of the poor choices you have made in life.
Drink responsibly, or you might never wake up.